What's up, guys? Tonight's topic is nationalism possible in America? It's just something I'm thinking about, just through my daily activities, deep thoughts, and whatnot. Um, and the ultimate answer is no. Agree or disagree with nationalism, whatever. Is nationalism possible? No. Um, from what I see, is that from what I can gather from my very simple mind is that nationalism takes a unified culture, a unified, not even necessarily race, but it really needs a unified culture. And, America's just, the melting pot. And we don't have a unified culture. America doesn't have its own culture. And if you were to claim a culture for America, it's that of, uh, really, to be honest, looking at it through the history of America, that of a culture of narcissism, a culture of abuse and usury, and you just let's just leave it at that. Um, hot dogs and hamburgers don't create a culture. Okay, or you look at European countries that have been around thousands of years, they actually have a unified culture. Nationalism is actually possible. They have a unspoken, agreed upon culture in these countries. Um, and I just look at America and I just don't see that that could ever happen. There's just too much. It's just too different. Everything is just too different. So then I was thinking about that, the same kind of thing, and not that I have any right to talk about this, but I will because fuck it. This is my channel. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to. I was just kind of thinking about, okay, well, why can America never have a unified culture? Well, so the Italians came over with their culture. You have little Italy, all these little Italian subsets in New York. The Dutch came over with their culture. You have their own little subsets and their own cultural places and beliefs, and they still celebrate it. Blah blah blah. The Spanish came over. Um, they still have their own subsets and beliefs. Eh, the French, same thing. You know, um, Irish, same thing. Chinese, same thing. Japanese, same thing. The core essence here is that you're boiling down to that all these cultures, all these races, they have their home. Their home being their culture. You know, if an Irish guy is over here, or a Japanese woman is over here, and they're just sort of like, man, fuck this. This is not my shit. They always have somewhere to go back to, right? So on with the Dutch and the Spanish and everybody. Everybody has somewhere to go back to. They have a home, whether that home be culturally or physically. They have a place to belong, a place to be. And then when I started thinking about that, I started thinking about, unfortunately, the black community. Um, and they don't have that. I don't want to offend anybody, but whatever. If I do, it's a topic that needs to be discussed. The black community in America doesn't have a culture. It doesn't have a home. The slaves that were brought over here were tribesmen, very, very small knit communities. They were robbed from their families, robbed from their children, terrible, terrible things, and then brought over here without any kind of backing or any kind of home, any kind of sense of community, any kind of sense of you know, group. So you look at it now, and from my point of view, the black community, they're struggling desperately for a sense of culture, a sense of belonging, a sense of home, and they simply don't have it. So this is really why you see, unfortunately, the black community gets highly involved in media. Media becomes their culture. So the violent movies, the gangbang bullshit, the drugs, all these things become their culture because really they don't actually have anything else. Which I completely understand. I mean, I can't imagine being put in a foreign land with no sense of community or home or anything. And there have been several leaders that in the black community, several black leaders that have tried to create culture for the black community. You see this with Malcolm X and Islam and a bunch of other stuff that they attempted, which is they were on the right track, but it never caught on, never actually um, amounted to anything. So now you look at black culture, and this isn't me trying to stereotype. You know, this is just me being honest. What is black culture now? Hip hop, violence, soul food, maybe church. Maybe church. But they cling to their families very very hard because it's the only thing they can cling to. And so what I see a race of people in a foreign land where they don't have a home, they don't have a culture, and they're trying to cling to everything they possibly can be clinging to, possibly can be clinging to. Unfortunately, that's media. Um, so, I mean, I just in my mind, unless the black community gets a strong leader that can direct them into a path of you know starting to provide a culture for themselves and a subnet, you know, um, kind of home for themselves. I just don't see it working well. And again, let me reiterate: this is not me being racist, just honest. The Unfortunately, very unfortunately, the black people that you see succeeding are the black people that basically have uh, taken on white culture, and it's just that's just fucking facts. You can see any um any successful white guy, and he's pretty much just accommodated white culture, whether that be Irish or whatever. It doesn't matter, but he's taken on more or less white culture, and it's terribly tragic to me. It really is. I think you know I have nothing but sympathy, and it's just an awful place to be in. But what I just cannot understand is why the black community, why is there such a lack of leadership? Why are not black men stepping up, realizing this stuff, and leading their community into better places, which is completely and utterly possible. And what's more upsetting about that is we even have a fucking black president. Why the fuck is he not stepping up for the black community and trying to lead them in a better direction, lead them into a cultural home? That to me, I just can't comprehend. Um, you know, there's fucking the riots in Charlotte and what what was the other one? I don't fucking know, some other place. All these racial riots where black people are frustrated and they're rioting. I understand that. Why in the fuck do we have a black goddamn president and the black community's rioting and he's not stepping up to talk about it and lead them? I mean, if that doesn't, tell me how much sense that makes. Why is he not stepping up? Why is he not leading the black community? I just, I just don't get it. I mean, even the fucking Native Americans have a sense of cultural home. You know, yeah, they were genocide and like killed off in masses and masses and shoved in the fucking what do you want to call them? I'm forgetting the word right now. Reservations. They were shoved into reservations. But why do you see the Native American community still not, rioting, going crazy, doing all these things? Again, it's a sense of community, a sense of home. When you have a sense of community, you have a sense of home, this violence, it can happen, but it's a lot less likely. Um, so is nationalism possible in America? No, it's not. It will never happen. There is no American culture. Like I said before, fucking hot dogs and hamburgers don't make goddamn American culture. Now, is that to say that, you America's only been around for a few hundred years, we haven't had enough time to make a culture? No, no. This is fucking horseshit. And prime example of this, Mexico. Mexico is a mix of, Spanish and basically Mayan, Incan, not Incan, but Mayan and Aztec and so on and so forth. They've been around for the exact same amount of time we have. Yet you go to Mexico, there's a unified culture, there's a unified group of people. They know where home is. They have a fucking home. America will never have that. And for whatever reason, there's a bunch of plausible reasons and possible reasons, but I don't see America ever fucking having that. So the excuse of America hasn't been around long enough, I call bullshit. I.e., the Mexico example. You just can't have, in my mind, maybe you can call me a nationalist, but in my mind, you can't have a successful community without a sense of culture. Um, and it's just you can just see it, you know it. We all know it. I mean, yeah, I've even discussed this at length with many African American men, black men, and they, the intelligent, the ones that want to learn and better, um, they're totally agreeing with me. They're completely agreeing. They're saying, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck it is. Um, and it's tragic, really. But um, what do you do? What do you do? Anyway, just thoughts from my head tonight. Tell me what you think. Take it as you will. If you get pissed off, oh fucking well, motherfucker. I don't give a shit. Yeah, that'll be it.